Hello ladies and gentlemen, to another video. This time, as the title may suggest, we are looking at my personal wish list for July's Xbox press briefing. So I will go down like each individual studios that I think are coming, or even know that are coming. So I'll start off with 343, which we definitely know are coming. In fact, there has been so many things kind of hinted at through this, which I will talk about more later. But yeah, so this is just my wish list, and you'll hear me saying a lot of ums and a lot of because this is unscripted. Well, it's got some sort of script, but it's just saying what I want to talk about. So how about we get into this before I start mumbling like a little twat I really am. So 343 Studios, they are announced to be coming, and I am looking forward to that personally. But I am expecting a few things out of them. Because it's Halo, we want 2 entire trailers out of them. One of them being the single player, so that's the story aspect of it. So I am expecting news that perhaps it will be an open world game from what it hints at. That's what it's hinting at, but maybe we're just getting like larger levels and all that other stuff. But I'll be fine with either, because Halo in a new direction is perfect. But then again, Halo's always been good for improving itself upon each iteration, so I'm really looking forward to whatever 343 actually brings us. Apparently this may be a spiritual successor to like Halo as Halo Combat Evolved, so it changes so much about it. That's what I've heard anyway, don't quote me on that. But I am really looking forward to that. So that's the single player side. We've got the multiplayer side. So each iteration of Halo, they've always massively improved it. From even like if you look at like Halo 3 to Halo Reach, they've added like abilities, and then between Halo Reach to Halo 4, we got the permanent running, we got the kill cams, we've got a load of all that sort of stuff. And then Halo 5 we had Warzone, I think it was, which was cool. Not the Warzone you're thinking of, like Call of Duty one, but yeah. It just had like AIs, bigger battles, and all cool ideas. So what I had I think they need to bring us a brand new thing coming to multiplayer, because Halo's always done that well, where multiplayer's been spot on. They've never done multiplayer wrong. Single player, I'm looking at you, Halo 5 story. Gonna fuck right off. Oh, that pissed me off. But yeah. What I want out of it is a brand new idea. Even though I had one the other day. I know this sounds like peak. Oh, what do you call it? Peak, like, ugh. You know, some people will just roll their eyes about this idea. But I'm willing to try this out. What if we had a Halo 5 Battle Royale? But we got all like the vehicles, of course. We will have different guns you can pick up. Halo's got fuck tons of guns. So throughout their lore, plus they've got since 343 came into the fold, they've got brand new the Forerunner weaponry. So that's 3 different sides of guns we could use. But that whole point is, it could be a really good idea. Maybe they could even, I don't know. I know how I was saying about like Titanfall. We had technically a Titanfall Battle Royale, but slightly different. So I'm hoping Halo can basically bring something to the table like Apex did. In fact, I'm hoping it has the same amount of impact that Apex did. But I don't want them solely focusing on multiplayer. I know it's their backbone, I know it's all of that, but the story needs to take a stand, and it needs a focus. Especially after Halo 5 single player. It was atrocious. And just bring back 4-player couch co-op, for fuck's sake, that pissed me off. I couldn't play with my mates at that point. I don't want to make this a rant video about Halo 5 or all the mistakes they made, but still, I don't want the same mistakes made in Halo Infinite. Especially as now I'm getting excited for it. Because I know you can do well. Halo 4 was a brilliant game. Just make it better. I would say just give us a release date. That'd be perfect. Absolutely bloody perfect. So that's been 343. The next one I want to talk about is that we know about who's coming is Double Fine. So this isn't this. They probably will only bring one thing to the table. I think that is the Psychonauts 2, which we're all happy about because it's Psychonauts 2 in it. If you haven't played the first one, personally I haven't played it actually, but I love the previous games coming out of Double Fine. So if you look at Brutal Legend and all their unique characters and their games, it's just beautiful. Even Broken Age, one of their more smaller titles, it's one of those things you just look at and go, oh, it's so bloody good. So I'm really looking hyped up for Psychonauts 2. And even like, of course this is the sequel to Psychonauts. Personally I haven't played it, but I know a few people who have and who are really looking forward to this game because Psychonauts was a big part of their childhood. So I'm just looking forward to that sort of stuff. I want a gameplay trailer. I want another. I know they've released like 1 or 2 gameplay trailers, but I want a new one. That'd be great if you can bring that. It may be like about 2 or 3 minutes at most because it is an hour-long thing, and we've got so many more games we could talk about. But yeah, I do want cool characters in this Psychonauts 2, and we know we've got that. We've got a unique gameplay. I'm really looking forward to this game. And now it's going to be on Game Pass day 1. Perfect. I can grab my hands on it. I think everyone else can. Give this game a try. I'm just really looking forward to it. Now, I put down the initiative, but I literally, as I started recording, I clicked on a news video, and then they say now that the initiative isn't coming, but just in case that they are, I will say that the initiative, I want to know what their big, shiny, brand new quadruple A project is. Because god damn, I want to know what it is. Even though it is, I think they've only started a studio about 3 years ago, but that was technically secret. Quote on quotations mark secret. But still, I would like to know what sort of things they're working on. I've heard many different sides of it, from a new IP, which is similar to Grand Theft Auto, which would be interesting because it's I know I'm personally not a big fan of Grand Theft Auto series because not just the game itself, but the developers behind it, Rockstar, can be pretty brutal towards their employees. I will not play a game that will be like that, even like it. Even I took a stand on Anthem. I was not a big fan of how BioWare treated their staff. But when someone in charge, I want that GTA story where I like it. GTA story, you cannot deny, even I can't deny, and I'm a huge Rockstar hater, that they create amazing stories. Just their gameplay suffers measurably. So I'm hoping that with that they can take the Rockstar story and add something like BioWare's gameplay. But of course not an RPG, because I went through the list and there's about 3 RPGs that I want. So I think you're covered on this. I want this to be a third-person action game similar to what we see from the PlayStation lot. I know everyone says this, but personally, it will be a good boost to the project. But well, there was other talk about the initiative was about how they're actually working on a remake of the Perfect Dark series. I personally haven't played it, but I've heard a lot of people who have, and they said it's a very good game. So with that in mind, I will totally be up for it. I've heard what it is. It's a cyberpunk stealth-like game. So I'm thinking, what in my mind, I've got this Deus Ex human humankind divided sort of thing. It's a huge open world, like Bethesda style, with a cyberpunk city. So no, I'm probably thinking of Cyberpunk 2077, aren't I, Reese? Probably. You're talking to yourself again, Reese. Do you want to continue the video, Reese? Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah, but the initiative, I know people have said they're not going to be there, but I really want them to be there. I want the Xbox to show them off and go, here you go, here's what we've been working on, and surprise the shit out of us. There is a few studios that are games are coming out that I want just a few new trailers about them. So In Exile, the next studio we're about to talk about, is they're about to have their newest release, Wasteland 3, and I want a new trailer out. Their final trailer for Wasteland 3. So technically, there'd be like their launch trailer, quote in quotation marks. So I'll be looking forward to seeing that, because I think it's coming out in August sometime. I think it's literally a couple of days before my birthday, so like 19th or some shit, or 19th of August. But either way, I'm looking forward to that game, even though I wasn't a big fan of Wasteland 2, but Wasteland 3 seems to change a bit, quite a bit enough to where I might enjoy it. I'll certainly play it on stream, and I'll give you my impressions on there. But yeah, I've heard that they're also working on another game, which is actually completely different to what they usually do. It's a first-person open-world game, from what I've heard anyway. So with that in mind, I am very much looking forward to what they do with it. And because it's the extra money from Microsoft, just honestly, because they kind of created games where don't get me wrong, it was a gap in market where people couldn't. Well, there wasn't anyone doing the Wasteland sort of experience. So I am all on board for them creating something that maybe we haven't seen in a very long time, or even something completely new. And I know In Exile can do it because they're very talented people. Right, here's the one I'm probably going to have a most go about, or most to say. Obsidian. Please, 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 give us Outer Worlds DLC. If we do not have the Outer Worlds DLC, explain to us why we do not have Outer Worlds DLC. In fact, make it about the whole bloody hour for all I fucking care. Give us Outer Worlds DLC. It was such a good game. Oh my god. But we're not here for that. We're here to talk about what we expect out of Obsidian. Obsidian, give us DLC. But no. What I'm expecting out of this is, if they announce DLC for it, I want them to bring us to a different planet. That'd be kind of cool. And I think they have spoken about that in the past. But I think it may be actually ripped content from the game, which is a bit surprising and all that. Still, I'm up for anything, really. Anything the Outer Worlds gives us. Give it to me now. Bit ASMR, for you. But still, I heard actually that, they're working on another game alongside, right? We've got Outer Worlds, right? Then they got Grounded, which is coming out literally a couple days after the conference, so we're most likely going to get a final, when I put this in quotation marks, like final trailer, because it's still in early access. So I'll be interested to see, like, they're actually working on 3 things at the moment, so I doubt that we'll see the new game that they're apparently working on, or even like some sort of logo or some shit like that. I'll be up for whatever. But still, if we see anything from them, it'd be great to see. And honestly, Grounded looks bloody brilliant, so I'll be happy with that for the whole entire year. Rare. Oh, we missed one. I made a whole list. Oh no, we missed one. Maybe you forgot about them. Maybe you may have never heard of these lot. The developers of Playground Games. I'm joking, of course. Everyone's heard of Playground Games. If you're an Xbox owner, of course. Playground Games. They've got 2 studios technically. One in Northampton, I think it is, in the UK. This is both 2 cities in the UK. I think one's in Bristol. No, is it Bristol? I don't know. There's 2 cities in the UK that have Playground Games, right? Before I go, this is my knowledge about this sort of stuff. But yeah, so one of them's the Forza Horizon series, which they're pumping out content for that, which is brilliant. Forza Horizon 4 still is one of the better racing games in our generation. In fact, no. Forza Horizon 3 was personally better because it's the soundtrack. The soundtrack was so good. I fucking love the soundtrack. But still, I am looking forward to seeing more. Probably, I don't know, a new trailer for that. I don't know. Because they're doing a lot of kid stuff as well. When I say kid stuff, like toys. So they did Lego. I think the newest release date was newest DLC was Lego related. So So we'll see what comes from that studio. But I'm also hoping for. Right, don't shout at me in the comments. But I do want to see something like a new RPG out of them. And I know a lot of people saying, it's Fable! It's Fable! I don't want that. Let's think in for a moment. I don't want that. Fable was an alright game. It wasn't anything special. It was alright. The combat system was shit. The choices were revolutionary. But it was an alright game. The story was nothing to get headed in. And that's why I want an RPG. I want to be drawn into it, the lore, the backstory, and it. Fable never did that. So unless Playground Games completely changes Fable as we know it, and piss off the people who enjoyed the older Fables, then I can't say that. Well, it's better for them to create their new IP. And I know Playground Games can do it because I've seen this hiring of staff, the writers, the everything. They've got very good backgrounds. Even though that shouldn't be the case if you want to hire people, by the way. I'm looking at all of you jobs. Look for the young audience. Look for me. Sorry, I'm going through a job crisis at the moment. That's probably why I put it in there. But still, I do want to see a new IP out of them. Because, honestly, who wouldn't want new RPGs? In fact, this is the second RPG? Yeah, this is the second RPG. In Exile, Playground Games, and we'll talk about a couple of other things later on. So, Ninja Theory. What do we want out of you? We want Hellblade 2. We want 2 trailers. We want a story trailer. And we need a gameplay trailer. Similar to Halo. Except you're both single player games. You're just a single player game. Because damn, I'm surprised you actually announced this game. I thought Hellblade was a one and done thing. But no, it's turning into its own thing. And I'm happy for it. But don't feel like you need to tell another story in this universe because it sold well. I don't want that. If this is one of those things where you think, oh, I could tell one and done story, and Microsoft came in and went, can you make another? Pretty please. We won't force you to do it, but could you do it for us? I know I love Microsoft to pieces, and they would never do what I'm saying. It's just, don't force a story in this universe if there isn't one to tell. If there is, then go ahead. I trust you in Ninja Theory. I trust you a lot more than some other people for some reason. But I trust you what you need to do. Also, when you're talking about the gameplay trailers, please talk about the improvements made to one of your 2 weakest things about the game. The combat itself, which was very basic, but we knew that it was a... it was a AA game. It was made by 30 people, and I'm sure this one will be completely the same, but this will have a higher budget. So I want to see the evolution in the combat. I want to see the evolution in the puzzles. So the shit that used to go around the world. I even want an evolution in collectibles because it was interesting in that world. And I'm sure because you're doing this, you've got a story to tell. And I'd love to hear more about this. And the more of the Senua's story. Perfect. But if this is one of those things where I might be getting carried away, can you also? I know the subject matter of Hellblade on itself is about mental health. We know about this, but could you also talk about something else? Perhaps could you be talking about another subject that people deeply care about? I think the one thing that made Hellblade so great in the first place was that it was bold. No one wanted to create a game around about a touchy subject matter. And with Hellblade, you can genuinely do that. You have the balls. You have the commitment of the money behind Microsoft. They will let you do this. Come on. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to take risks, because I know you can bloody do it. Sorry if you can hear the like mouse in the background. I'm literally going through like all this shit. Right, we've still got like 3 studios before I go on to possible new studios we could see at the event. So we got Rare. We were about to talk about Rare earlier, but I kind of got sidetracked, didn't I? Rare. There is a different. Right, let's be honest. There's a difference about what I expect there to be versus what I want there to be. Of course, I want there to be Everwild, that brand new game, that brand new IP. But with that, there comes a lot of expectation with Rare making this new IP. I expect that it will have a good story. I expect that it will have innovative gameplay. Because that's what Rare does. It innovates, it creates, it evolves the action or whatever genre it places its name into. Except for about Connect. That was just... That was a dark day for you in Microsoft. A dark day indeed. But yeah, no, I have full faith in this team to create this amazing thing. I just expect a lot out of this new IP. And that's maybe just me, but I think that's going to be a lot of people. We are expecting good things out of this game. But what I kind of expect there to be at this event will just be more DLC for Sea of Thieves. I'm not complaining because I've heard it's great and I'm considering downloading it again to see what the changes are, to play it on stream. If you haven't heard, I'm on streaming at SlothGamer12 at /Twitch.tv. So I had to implement my Twitch TV somewhere, or whatever you want to call it. But nevertheless, it's one of those things where we talk about Rare, about how great they are, because even in the dark days we had Viva Pinata, I think it was called, that Pinata game. It was just, I loved it to pieces. It was nothing. It wasn't anything like I've played it before. It was this gameplay was something I've never played before. And that's what I expect out of Rare. I expect that innovation. They're British. They should come up with new things. If they can't, then what happened? If you can't think of something cool and unique for this, let's be honest, it's a unique game. It looks like a very nice game. I just don't want it to be a walking simulator. I'm not saying it has to have constant action. I think you just need to find good mechanics for it. So give us that. Going into turn 10, their racing studio, I have heard that the Forza Motorsport 9, 8, 10, honestly, I've lost track. But their newest motorsport title has changed quite a bit from what they usually do. Instead of like copying and pasting things that the Forza Horizon did. So we had the weather in like Forza Horizon 4, and then the next year we had the weather into... It's one of those things where it's just a copy and paste from the Horizon series. But I have heard that their newest motorsports game changes. It's literally built from the ground up and said, right, here is what we can do well. But I don't expect it to come out this year. In fact, I don't even expect it to be announced. Not really. I think because they've got so many studios, they don't have to put on pressure for this car series. And with that in mind, you got to think about, right, how many titles has Microsoft released this year that they can hold back for another year and give them a constant amount of games every year, especially as you can implement it into Game Pass. So this year we had Grounded, we got Wasteland 3, we've got Minecraft Dungeons, we've got Halo Infinite at the end of the year. So that's 4 games already. There's no point of having an extra one because you're just wasting it. Leave it to next year. Bug test the hell out of it. Put a little bit more money into it. Do what you have to do, Microsoft. Just don't release it this year. That's my personal opinion. Do what you want, but honestly, it would help you out. But the Motorsport series for me, it's one of those things where Motorsport was good. Forza Horizon was better. But you can't deny that the Motorsport was very good. It was very bloody good. But the Horizon was obviously better. So, make it a competition. Make Turn 10 create a better game than the Horizon series. Making it in-house competition, which can get a better metric score. Show them that you can do better than a new studio. Going on to the last of the currently known Microsoft game studios, Undead Labs. There's not much to say about them because all we know is that they've been creating State of Decay. And I've heard that this year they released a big giant expansion for State of Decay. But if they could tell us a new IP, that would be preferable. I like State of Decay. In fact, I put so many hours into the first game and even second game. But I don't want a State of Decay 3. There's nothing that they can do that would surprise me. It's the differences between 1 and 2 are minimal. But, well, not minimal. They're not as much as I expect out of a next game in the series. It honestly felt like for me a graphical update with a few extra features. So in that case, I want them Undead Labs to create a new IP, and hopefully not a zombie one. But if they do, because the name is technically Undead Labs, what is this zombie game that actually is different from State of Decay? Give us a reason to fall in love with your games. I think Undead Labs will probably have the most difficult time to convince me to play their games. Right, as we're about to end this video, it's coming up to 30 minutes. Fuck me, I didn't expect it to be this long. I do want to mention a few things I want, because I've heard that they may be acquiring a few new studios. So because of this, well, we hear rumours about this every time since like 2018. Like, well, they've got a new studio. Like, I'm sure they don't, but let me humour me for a second. So, new studios that I want them to do. Obviously, these are studios that I think that would work for Microsoft Game Studios, that will give them another portfolio piece. So they're known to create this specific game that other game studios that they have don't have. So I've got I'll start off with the first one. Red Barrels Studios. So the creators of Outlast. I'm sure. In fact, I know that Microsoft doesn't have a horror game developer under their umbrella. So in that case, take them under your wing. Give them top tier horror game. I'm thinking of Capcom level horror game. Something to truly scare the living shit out of anyone that comes across it. You give them that. In fact, they've done that, but with less money. Outlast 1 scared the living shit out of many people, and that did not have the same budget as something like Capcom has. But with that in mind, Outlast 2, I've played it myself, and Outlast 2 was good, but it didn't scare the living shit out. I mean, not like Outlast 1 did. In fact, though, let me just put my man face on. Both games didn't scare me that much. But still, you get the idea. I want horror games. I love the feeling of being scared. You've even seen me on Man of Medan. That whole idea of, if I could get scared somehow, I'd do it. In fact, Man of Medan is a very good game, but keep an eye out for my impressions and honest opinions. That's my YouTube thing. But yeah, another one that could come into under Microsoft wing would be Don't Nod. They've actually been working on a title for them that's based I think it's like 3-episode game. So it's about, I think, I can't remember the title of it, but it was about a transgender man trying to figure out what happened to them when they were younger. And I'm fully invested in that sort of stuff. If they can create cool, unique stories like that, come on, Microsoft, this is an obvious win if you buy Don't Nod. I'm not expecting them to do like the same sort of style every time for like like Life is Strange kind of thing. I don't expect it. I don't want them to, in fact, because they've done Vampire in the past. They've done like Remember Me. I can understand. I want them to do that. And Don't Nod would be a great studio to kind of say, here we go, we're creating this game next. And they've got very good games on their wings, so give them enough money, give them enough everything, and I'm sure as hell they will deliver Game Pass for you. And finally, this is kind of a shot in the dark, but Moon Studios, creators of the Ori series, going on, even I admit that I'm not a big fan of like 2D platformers, but even I can admit that Ori has a sense of pride, and it's gorgeous to look at. It's got so many good characters. Maybe one day I'll get that game, but for the time being, I think it'd be great for Microsoft to say, alright, you've got experience doing this, do you want to continue to make games like that? And if you do, hire them, get them, buy them out. They're really small studio. So don't be afraid to buy them. So, that's the end of my wish list. So I hope you enjoyed this video, nevertheless. This is kind of a weird thing to do, but I enjoy putting this sort of wish list type of videos for it, because we don't have like the E3s of this day. We have conferences that come every month. We've got PlayStation, the next PlayStation one's in August. Please, for the love of God, don't be the 20th of August. I don't want to ruin my birthday. But yeah, just keep an eye out on that. I personally am looking forward to a lot of stuff coming from Microsoft, because they know what they're doing. They stand back and say they've got the developers, they've got the talent, and just say, here's the money, create us great games, and in return they give money to Microsoft. I just expect this will be an excellent thing that happens on Thursday. So, finally, I should probably say, like and subscribe, enjoy the video, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.